rule number one, as it applies to analyzing football, should be this: never trust a rookie, much less one without an ACL. Unless... Good morning to you. Good Monday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. The Steelers conducted their rookie minicamp over the weekend. I was over there on the south side. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed a lot of the conversations. Enjoyed seeing these guys carry themselves for the first time in black and gold. Maybe that meant just watching Troy Fautanu go about his business. Maybe it meant watching Zach Frazier with the big smile on his face. We'll be getting into some of these things over the course of this week. But I am here to tell you that I am all in on Payton Wilson. Now, I know that's easy. I know. You just look at his tape. Look at what he did in college. Look not just at his awards and accolades at North Carolina State. Look at the plays that he made. Look at the nature of those plays. Look at the amount of ground that he'd cover, the acreage in some cases. This is a truly, and I do not like to overuse this word. I might be guilty of it on occasion, but I don't like it when I am. A truly special athlete. He can fly, and he can move in lots of different ways as well, not just straight line-ish. But he doesn't have the ACL, and as a result, that was discovered at the scouting combine, he plummeted, just kept falling and falling and falling. The universally accepted best linebacker in the class just kept falling and falling and falling until the Steelers, who passed him up themselves 3 times, took him at 98th overall. And then, in something of a striking reversal, almost everyone who's covering this draft, the experts, the people who participate in this sort of thing year-round, are glowing. The Steelers might have gotten the steal of the draft. They got away with murder getting this kid so late. And you know, that might be right. Or all of the NFL executives who bypassed Wilson because he doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees could end up being right. But for this moment, and watching this kid, not just on video, but watching him even just go through some of the drills that he did on the South Side this weekend, agility drills, speed drills, or even just watching him, seeing the confidence in the way he speaks with people, the way he conducts himself out on the field, to hear some of the stuff that he said when I interviewed him afterward, you don't worry. Like, I'm watching him from the sideline, and, you know, his knees aren't bandaged. There's no braces. There's no anything couching or cushioning his movements. There's certainly nothing slowing him down. And then when I ask him about the injuries, which, by the way, he has no issue talking about any of this, the history or whatever. I mean, I'm sure there'll come a point in his career where he'll be like, hey, can we talk about something else? But his answers are very matter-of-factly. He'll say, and he's correct, he hasn't had an issue since 2018. Because I've been doing this long with no problems, with nothing holding me back. And I feel, this was his terminology, like I'm the most athletic linebacker in the world. And to have a further conversation with him, by the way, you'll know that he's anything but a bragger. I think he's just, telling the truth. Because here, for example, is his response when I asked him, what kind of ceiling he might be setting for himself in the NFL.
I'm not going to throw anything out there. I think for me, it's just, being the best version of myself. At the end of the day, I'm a super confident person and I believe in my talents. So just, continuing to work and get better and, help this team win a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, every team's goal is to win a Super Bowl, and I want to contribute to that any way possible.
Yeah, that's not a bragger. So the athletic line was maybe his defense mechanism, just saying, how would I be able to do all of these things if I had some sort of fatal flaw holding me back? And he doesn't use examples like Hines Ward and others who competed and had long careers in the NFL without an ACL. He doesn't use those as examples because he doesn't feel like he needs it. He's just out there playing, and he's been doing it now for 5 years without anything even reminding him of what went wrong in the first place. And even that is just part of why, I could make this episode like an hour and a half long, just about how blown away I was by this dude. The intensity that he showed out there, the way he was trusted to call signals. He was calling the defensive signals. He literally just showed up. Now, I understand it's a rookie camp. They're all rookies, but he was the one they said, you go ahead and do this. And even afterward, when he was coming toward me after the sessions, he turned around, just happened to see that Danny Smith, special teams coach, was working with 2 or 3 other guys in the middle of the practice field, and he saw an opportunity to continue learning special teams. So he sprinted, not jogged, not trotted. He sprinted back out there for more. This is someone you get behind, Pittsburgh. I'm not going to sit here and predict whatever, this or that, what's going to happen to him once the season starts, if he's even going to be a starter right off the bat or whatever. We'll see how that plays out through the summer, into Latrobe, into the preseason. But, wow, go right ahead and get excited about this one. When we come back, J1Q. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. LGKG is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents people hurt in car accidents or who need help with workers' comp or medical malpractice. When the attorneys at LGKG make you a promise, they keep it. They've been keeping promises in our region for over 80 years. LGKG's been AV rated, the highest rating a law firm can receive, and they've been designated super lawyers. That's actually a thing for over 15 years. It's a rare combination. LGKG has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them by visiting lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. LGKG. J1Q comes from Tim, who says, DK, let's not forget about Cordero Patterson and that Flash is only 2 seasons removed from having 52 catches for 548 yards and 5 touchdowns. With his 6'2", 220-pound frame, sub 4.5 speed, press man coverage has never been a big issue for him. Call me crazy, but having wild cards like George Pickens, Ramon Wilson, Pat Freiermuth, and Patterson as weapons for Russell Wilson, I don't really see the need for the Steelers to go and add a big-name wide receiver, at least not giving up significant capital to do it. What are your thoughts? My first thought, Tim, is I've never advocated for a big name anything. I don't look at names in terms of, who the Steelers should or shouldn't acquire. It's about the player, it's about the production, and as some general managers love to remind agents for older players at contract time, we're not here to reward you for past performance, we're here to look at future performance. So forget about names. I want a wide receiver. I'm not about to change this. I'm not about to see the Steelers add a bunch of 4s, really, not even 3s, and say everything's okay. Everything's all right. Just figure it out from there. There's no reason to do that. There's no reason from a cap standpoint. Omar Khan isn't close to having freed up the kind of space he could create with just a couple of restructures, and whether it ends up being a restructure or an extension for Cam Hayward, there's a ton of money to be had. He can do this. He doesn't need to just look at his depth chart and say, yeah, this is fine. It's not fine. It's not fine at that position. I don't care what kind of expectations you have for the people who are already here. I don't care what kind of expectations you might have for the Arthur Smith offense. You need to have another wide receiver in here. You just do. And listen, I like Wilson. I like this Wilson. I mean, I wouldn't say I like him as much as the other Wilson, but seeing Ramon Wilson and seeing the ability that he has to move and do different athletic things on the field and the way he carried himself with a lot of confidence as well, it's easy to get excited about him too, and I'll be talking more about him as this week passes. But no, I can't take this wide receiving core that they have right now seriously, and more significant, there's no need to. There's no need to. Put yourself in Omar's shoes. Tell yourself that this is the year, even if it's just in the same context that the Steelers always say that this is the year, and ask yourself why you would enter the season without the best possible roster that you can have. And then, from there, ask yourself where you'd spend it. What do you want to do? Go get an edge rusher? Another tight end? I mean, you could do this all day. You could go through every list, every depth chart, and you're just going to come back to wide receiver again. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Steelers, and we're going to do another one of these tomorrow.